Write your own script, man. I believe in you. You have 20 years. I don't even know how many years of YouTube experience you have. You could have thought of something on your own. I believe in you, man. You could have done it. You could have thought of something else or just changed it a little more. I feel like you could have had a really unique perspective on the situation about people quitting instead of just copying. I did YouTube full time for like a year and a half. You've done it for I don't even know how long. And the amount of money I made on YouTube total in like my 4 or 5 years monetized is probably like how much you made in a few months at one point in time. So it would have been cool to hear a unique perspective, but you know, that's what the situation is.
So a lot has developed since my previous Boogie video. In case you missed my previous Boogie video, I basically covered his New Year's video and his Why YouTubers Quit video. And right as soon as the video was basically getting processed to be uploaded to YouTube, I got a message from a lovely follower of the channel named D2Emblemist, who basically let me know that there was an unlisted video by this guy who you just saw in the intro clip called The Talentless Writer, who's like this pseudo animation style channel that talks about different topics but conveys it through animation. And he claims that Boogie was plagiarizing one of his videos that he made talking about why YouTubers quit. Now, this is a quick little tangent I want to go on. It is insane how many people are on the platform making content that semi-overlap things that I talk about but I've never heard of. So this guy has almost 400k subscribers, never heard of him, not a slight to him at all. It's weird how the ecosystem is so big and the types of characters that get pulled into the sphere that I'm going to talk about. Essentially, Boogie claps back. So Boogie's been on this spiritual retreat with his shaman, and he's been taking mushrooms and, you know, crushing his 18-year-old girlfriend in bed, you know. The same old shenanigans that our ancestors used to do 1,000 years ago. That's what Boogie's been up to. But he essentially made a series of tweets saying, yeah, me and this guy, we talked about it, and we figured it out. We worked it all out. If he wants me to take my video down, then I'll do that. And in case you don't know, the reason that I feel like I wasn't made aware of this situation is that the Talentless Writer put his video to unlisted. So it only has like 30,000 views and nobody's really talking about it. So I thought I would talk about it, and I'll break down some of his critiques as to why he thinks Boogie is plagiarizing him. And I don't know how to think about it, but it's odd that Boogie's video is still standing, yet this other guy's got taken down. I wonder how that worked out.
Boogie2988 plagiarized my script. Because look, people like come up with the same idea all the time. I've definitely been in situations where I came out with the video at like the same time someone else came out with the video, or I didn't even know that other video existed, and I came up with a very similar premise, or, you know, I just said stuff really similar. And that's what happens in entertainment or comedy or anything. Like, there are plenty of times where you'll accidentally just come up with the same idea as someone else, and it was just a coincidence. Like, you didn't actually mean to steal it from someone. It just happened. But in Boogie's case, this is not the case.
So I think this is a 100% valid point of view, especially coming from somebody that talks about locales, that commentates on their whereabouts, what they're up to, what they're doing, what they're planning, and also being within a niche of people that also dedicate a lot of time to either clipping or talking about locales. It has definitely come across my plate of people either saying that somebody is copying me or I'm copying somebody, and a lot of the time I feel like it's a little bit overblown. You know, I feel like unless you're really, you know, in a sense, the locals could say, oh, you know, saturated content, he's plagiarizing my work. He's just taking my videos and chopping them up and talking about them. That's crazy. I mean, there's that extreme that you could go to, but it's also like, if I cover a video and somebody else covers the exact same video, there's a decent chance that we say something pretty close to each other if we have a similar mindset about what's going on. So it's not too far-fetched. And there are plenty of people that feel like, I don't know, that feel like their fans gatekeep certain topics that they do from other creators. You know, if I don't know, if I was popular talking about Boogie and some other commentator talks about Boogie, there is a group of people that think, nah, that's saturated content's topic, you can't talk about that. And obviously I don't agree with that. I don't believe in that. I mean, at the end of the day, I just like the community to share their thoughts about a topic with me. That's just what the whole point of my channel has always been about, is sharing these wacky, crazy dudes on the internet and having people to discuss it. So if other people want to talk about topics that I do, go for it. If other people want to parrot my point of view on something, honestly, cool, because then it makes my it makes my opinion the dominant one, and then people will see, well, everybody's agreeing with what saturated content's saying. That must mean it's right, even if it could be the most brain dead take of the entire world. And you know, I'm appreciative for that. That's all to say. We'll get into some visual clips, and I'll let you guys make the decision on whether or not Boogie's actually plagiarizing.
When you're starting out on YouTube, before you have any sort of sizable audience, you're fueled by hope. Hope that one day you're going to be known amongst all the other people you watch. Hope that you'll make money off doing what you love, and hope that you'll have tons of subscribers who love your videos.
When you first start making YouTube videos, you are driven by one thing, and that is hope. Hope that you can create a career out of it. Hope that you will entertain people. Hope that you can make something amazing.
Once you quit your job or school and focus solely on making money through YouTube, you are now being fueled by fear. Every day goes from, I wonder if this video will blow up so people will notice me, to, oh fuck, if this video doesn't do well, I'm not gonna be able to eat.
But when you quit your job and make YouTube a full-time gig, you're motivated by a whole other thing, and that's fear. Fear that you're going to earn enough money to survive doing it.
And logically, you'd think once it's your main job, you know, you have more time so you can make more videos, which means you'll get more views and more money. That makes sense, right? But that's not how it really works, because YouTube isn't like a regular job. In a regular job, if you go from working 20 hours a week to 40 hours a week, you make double the money because you did double the work, or at least work double your hours. But on YouTube, you can go from making 4 videos a month to making 8 videos a month, or even 12 videos a month, and make even less money than when you were making 4 videos a month.
And here's the crazy thing about being a YouTuber. If you do more work, it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll make more money. If you work at a normal job with a wage or even a salary, and most of the time you do overtime, you'll probably get extra pay. But on YouTube, you spend that extra time making more videos, and that video gets demonetized or doesn't perform well in the algorithm, or your audience just doesn't like it, you'll probably end up earning less money.
You guys want my actual opinion about this? I know this is almost a 2-minute long clip. I usually try and shorten them a little bit, but I thought we would give it some brevity because there are multiple instances. So I think it's, without a doubt, Boogie watched this video. Without a doubt, he watched this video, and he also happened to make his points in the same order as this video did. However, I do think Boogie adds different things to it, or at least he rephrases things. So like, I don't know, I find it hard to call something plagiarism when it's like kind of a different sect of video production. You know, it's not like another animator taking another animator's video idea and just doing it in their style, but it's still the same script. It's like, this is a commentary video of Boogie, and like there's some stock footage over the top that's a little bit different. I feel like if I was ranking this on like a plagiarism scale of like, holy shit, you just copied an entire book, to, you know, yeah, I can see why somebody thinks that you're plagiarizing. Boogie's a little bit further from that point inside, but like, I really don't think it's that terrible, that it's that insane. And part of me is like, I don't know, and maybe this is a stupid opinion for me to have, but I feel like videos online, I have less of an issue with plagiarism as long as it's like slightly altered. in some way. You put your twist somehow into it. Versus like a written paper or an essay you did or whatever, you know? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's a really stupid thought. Plenty of people probably think plagiarism is plagiarism, but I don't know. That's my initial thought of this entire thing. I do think that Boogie watched the video. I do think Boogie took these ideas from him. And at the very least, the hope versus fear dilemma, I think, is more plagiarized than the, oh yeah, you might not make as much money on YouTube over time than a regular job based off of hours. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've heard some of these thoughts across a lot of different people. So it's just like, at the end of the day, a lot of ideas are just sort of being packed together into a single video. I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe you guys just want to slam dunk on Boogie nonstop. But for this one, at the very least, I think Boogie made a very low effort commentary video talking about these characters to try and get some extra clicks and views. And he used some inspiration from another channel that had talked about this. So I don't know. That's my thought.
Boogie made his video to get views, obviously, and that's fine. I've done stuff just for views. You think I was happy? You think I made my Friday Night Funkin' video because I didn't want views, because I was passionate about Friday Night Funkin'? I mean, the game is kind of fun, but I did it for views. Everybody does shit for views. But it is really funny that Boogie just copied me. Now, I'm not angry. If anything, I'm like, I think it's a really funny situation because it's Boogie that did it. If it was like anyone else, like if someone I've never even heard of that was like a big YouTuber, or even someone that's a big, like if fucking some big commentary YouTuber that I don't even watch copied my script, I'd be like, okay, this kind of fucked up. Like, why would they do that? But because it's Boogie, because Boogie is a fucking legend, a YouTube legend that, you know, he's going through some stuff right now. I feel bad for him. And also because he's honestly helped me in my life.
I don't know what weirder version of Rucka Ali is trying to tell me here about this entire situation. It's like, I don't know why who the person is should dictate your opinion about whether or not you're upset about it. You know, like, unless maybe it's your friend or your family member that did it. I don't see why, if it was me or if it was Boogie, why you would have any other opinion except the exact same for both of us if we did this thing to you. I don't know, it's really odd. And he's also, it's kind of obvious that he knows of Boogie in a peripheral sense, where like he knows he's popular on YouTube and he knows of him falling in the pool, or he knows of Francis videos or something like that. But he doesn't know like a lot of the lore developments that have happened in the past 5 years. So like, Boogie's not a good person. Boogie's not a redeemable person. And we're gonna find out here in a second. If you remember, Caleb Hammer had a financial audit with Boogie, and Boogie talked some trash about Caleb Hammer. Well, now Caleb Hammer gets to come back and clap back with some thoughts of his own about Boogie. And so this basically wraps up the plagiarism saga of Boogie. Once again, my thoughts, yeah, it seems like he copied the idea. Seems like he did a similar layout as this guy's video. And do I think Boogie should be kicked off of YouTube for this? No, I don't. But if anybody's watched as much Boogie content as I have, you'd understand that Boogie cuts corners, and Boogie just does not care that much about the content that he makes. He's just trying to make a buck. And that's exactly what Talentless Writer let us know. So we're going to transition into Caleb Hammer talking about Boogie.
What was it like meeting him?
He's interesting behind the scenes. Well, wasn't even expected to talk about him. Like, do I want to just like out his entire existence? No, probably not. But I mean, okay, a little.
I heard he was talking trash after the episode.
He was talking trash after the episode, but the dude is just so nice and gentle in person, and you can tell, unlike you guys, who you're the same as you are off camera. I think I'm the same off camera as I am on camera.
You are.
He's not. He kind of puts on a show, which I think is why a lot of people find him to be a little more fake, which isn't surprising why an audience would fall off like that. If like the person you're not watching is genuine on YouTube, YouTube is supposed to be the place where you're literally just seeing the person, you know? So he was very nice, very happy. But then, you know, after we recorded the episode and everything, he went and he trash talked on his own podcast, trash talked on Twitter. And then a couple times on Twitter, he was like, oh, this is for the drama and this is for that. It was very confusing to follow. And like me and my team, we were just like sitting back watching him just do his own thing and just confused as to why.
It doesn't surprise me that Boogie comes off as a charmer behind the scenes, because that is his only saving grace when it comes to interacting with anybody. Because if you know any of the lore of Boogie, you know that he's a pretty despicable person. So he's gonna try and ham it up with you and try and make, you know, he's gonna gloat all over you, say, oh yeah, your production is so good, your videos have been on fire, I'm just really honored to be here. You know, he'd say stuff like that. But he's a two-faced person, and obviously take what he says on like Locale Live with a grain of salt, because that's all just stage fake drama that is conjured up. Boogie's not actually that mad about anything. The one truth is he 100% went on to this with the intention of gaining views and gaining notoriety. And him talking about it afterwards and trashing Caleb was the exact same reason, was to try and get more people to show up and click on his stuff. Now he pulled me into it, but it just so happens I also like Caleb's content, so it kind of overlapped there. But I don't think Boogie really had any interest in reforming his finances. I think he's looked at it enough. I think with Mike Klum, they've come to the realization he's fucked. The solution for Boogie is, well, I guess that's it. That's sort of the point that we reached at. He's never going to gain the notoriety that he had before, and he's going to have to jump back and forth with these crazy, bizarre things and hope that it garners a month's worth of attention.
And also, I mean, he lied a lot as well.
Did he?
I mean, so
I didn't catch anything.
That Chick-fil-A thing. I don't know if you guys watched the full episode, but he was talking about going to Chick-fil-A and he spent like $20. He was like, I got to feed 2 people. You know, or I got to feed 4 people or whatever. And that's why I spent $20 there. There's no shame, fat shaming, anything like that. But you do not stay at his weight if you're only consuming for a meal 1 Chick-fil-A sandwich, you know? If you're splitting that between 4 people, you don't. It's impossible. It's like calorically, mathematically impossible.
Equation.
So he was certainly lying a lot about his overall spending and just making excuses for things. Yeah. And it's hard because a lot of people that come on the show, we see their statements, they'll admit to things where we see the statements where like, why'd you spend money on this? He's like, oh, I'm buying it for other people, not consuming it for myself. And I'm like, okay.
And Caleb is pretty spot on with analyzing the problem with Boogie. If you've ever watched any of the other financial audits, you'll find out that initially the people will say, oh, whatever, my boss screwed me over, my mom screwed me over, the government screwed me over. And then as time goes on, they start to accept that they're actually the problem with their finances. Boogie will refuse to do that. And his defense is, well, I gotta eat. Everybody's gotta eat. And the fact that he legitimately thought that he was going to convince people that only a couple days, like 3-4 days a week, he was buying one time Chick-fil-A or Burger King or whatever for 3 people, and it wasn't $20 in the financial audit. He said 15, but let's pretend it's 20. Impossible. You're not going to get, unless you're getting only sandwiches and that's it, you're not getting fries, you're not getting drinks, you're not getting anything else. Sure, but where the hell is the rest of the food coming from then, Boogie? Because you're still 400 pounds. And as somebody who's eaten to that point before, I understand what it takes to stay that size. Yes, being sedentary doesn't help that, but you're still consuming, I don't know, 4,500 to 5,000 calories a day, something in the ballpark. And to think that a single Chick-fil-A sandwich that's like 500 calories is just doing that to you. Yeah, maybe the $20 is just you personally. Maybe, I don't know. But the fact that he thought that he could slide this over is like another preposterous point of view that Boogie tries to perpetuate in all of his content.
The sad likelihood is, I mean, the dude's probably not going to be here in 10 years. I mean, that's the hard part. Financially speaking, I mean, he's not going to be able to make it much longer with the bills he's obligated to pay. Just his monthly health insurance costs. Just his monthly health insurance costs.
A lot of money. How much was it?
It's ridiculous. I don't remember
I think
exactly.
it was like $1,500 a month.
Yeah, it was something
was like his out of pocket.
It was immediately like half or
Yeah.
60% of his
It's like
revenue.
$50 a day just in health insurance.
And the dude
It's a
runs on
lot.
bumps too. He runs on bumps in like his little YouTube algorithm.
Hmm.
So he goes out and chases something, and he probably used my show for that as well, just like the podcast. He chased that. He gets a little bump in his
documentary
YouTube.
really boosted his
Absolutely,
views, yeah.
absolutely. But I mean, the revenue wasn't that much more impactful. He was celebrating bringing in like a few $1,000s, which I mean that's exciting to bring in a few $1,000s, but from where he was and what he needs to survive, it wasn't that much. I feel bad because I'm not actually like I don't like to trash talk people,
Yeah.
but since we're here, but yeah, the dude's not gonna make it.
So Caleb's just holding no punches back because we all know Boogie's not making any drastic changes. Today is the 16th of January. I don't know when this video is going to come out, but on the 16th of January, he did a locale live where he literally said his shaman completely changed his lifestyle, and now he's going to only eat healthy food, and he's thrown out all the bad food, and he's going to lose 1,000 pounds and all that stuff. And it's like, I hope that works out for you, Boogie. I don't have any confidence that it will because you've said this for 20 years, but hey, teach their own, teach their own. And I don't know, it's just like Boogie is never gonna make the amount of money that he has to. It's not even about these like bumps that occur, because I'm sure in November when the Mike Klum thing was going on, he probably, I don't know what the difference is, but let's just say hypothetically he made like $4,000 more in a month. So he made, I don't know, $7,000 or $7,500 in a month. It's like, that's cool. Isn't that still less than the amount you claim you needed? You still need $7,000, but if you take out taxes from $7,500, you're not at $7,000, and the other things aren't making up for it. So it's like, even those bumps are never gonna save him. So he's basically financially boned forever. I just don't see how he can ever recover from that.
He puts low effort into things like his Patreon and other things that he tries to sell his audience. He doesn't put any value into them, so he doesn't really receive any rewards from them. His Patreon that came in, what was it? It was like $40 or something. His Twitch was like $150. He doesn't put effort into things and actually provide value that people want to consume as a viewer or pay for.
Could be, though, he's not giving that value because he's not receiving anything first. So if it's hard to put value into something, it's like, I'm making $40 a month. Why would I spend time on this?
Yeah.
When it's $40 a month versus I could make more YouTube videos. So I'll keep this going and I'll do this, but
which is what I
it's hard
recommended
to-
all in
yeah.
on YouTube. But
what I
I think you
thought,
said in
so.
your reaction to the video, he's kind of stuck on YouTube 10 years ago.
yeah.
Which is 100% true. Boogie is stuck in the age of 30-second viral clips that were popular on YouTube because the algorithm promoted them because it brought quick view access to a wider audience. So when YouTube was still young, when YouTube didn't have a lot of established creators, those short clip videos got people hooked and it made them want to watch more and more. It's kind of like what like TikTok is today, I guess. So that's what Boogie is still stuck on. He has said he's gonna make more kid behind the camera type of videos, which are just complete dog shit. I don't know who the fuck wants to watch that. It's literally unbearable slop. And I know you can come right back and say, oh, your commentary is unbearable slop. But at least I'm not a 400-pound, 50-year-old man with fucking cartoon noises playing in the background as I do some goofy gag like climb out of some trunk of some car. You know, maybe someday we'll reach that point, but that someday's not right now. And Boogie just doesn't have a shot. It's a failure. It's a failure of the launch, and nothing that he does is gonna fix anything.
He's someone who had millions of subscribers. Now, his might be an extreme.
But you know he can turn
like,
it around. there are certain things that are
He can't
inhibiting
get
him.
get back to where he was. I mean, that was
No.
But there are certain things that he is suffering from that are preventing him from getting where he needs to be that you aren't necessarily. And those I feel like are the really only things that you can bar from this.
That's a good point. That's fair.
He like refuses,
Yeah.
even if YouTube doesn't make money. I think we all think he can make a little more money on there.
Oh, yeah,
but he
he could.
refuses to get any job
Yeah.
if it fully stops. He's a YouTuber. He has 3 million subscribers or whatever. So he thinks, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a humility thing. The embarrassment as well of being Boogie, and you go into Chipotle, for instance, and be like, "Hey, are you Boogie?" And serving Chipotle, and it's like, "Oh, can I get a selfie with you?" And it might be just.
Yeah.
But seriously, imagine that
Yeah.
any front-facing job like that, anyone is they're gonna recognize him. Hey, let's take selfies.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem. Boogie is stuck with this massive ego that he can't comprehend the fact that he is irrelevant. Rice scum, irrelevant in the modern age, and that he should start trying to infill funds from elsewhere, like working at a movie theater or like being a librarian or whatever, and try and accommodate that so he makes a more smooth transition from YouTube to something else. Now, he'll never do that because he thinks, I have 4 million subs, therefore I can't do some plebeian job. I can't just subject myself to that. And yeah, I think it takes a lot of effort to transition from that, because you're like, damn, I went from the height of this other thing to the doldrums of another. And if you gotta take a hit to your ego in order to do that, and Boogie will never do that. He just won't. He'll live in his own little fantasy land and keep crying, complaining, and playing victim and asking for money, because that's just what Boogster does. Local Live's gonna fail here pretty soon, and everything else is gonna also fail here pretty soon. Kind of a harsh ending, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. Is Boogie a plagiarizer? Is Boogie a manipulator? Is Boogie gonna live 10 more years like Caleb doesn't predict? I don't know. But let me know down below, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.